Let's make some friendship bread together, and I want to talk about it a little bit and give you some info. The way this works is normally one of your friends gives you a bag of starter and 2 different recipes. This first recipe is what to do with the starter, how to take care of it, and the other recipe is how to cook the bread. On day 1, you get the bag, you just leave it on the counter, it sets out at room temperature, you do not refrigerate this, and then on days 2 through 5, you mash the bag together, and then on day 6, you add 1 cup of flour, sugar, and milk, and then you mush it around until it's well mixed, and then you wait while mushing the bag. Day 7, day 8, and day 9. Then on day 10, you pour the sourdough into a glass, you mix it together with the last little bit of ingredients, and then you divide that out, and then you give these away, and then you copy these instructions and pass it on. You then follow the recipe here to cook it. So how do you actually start the batch? How do you make the bread to begin with? You're going to need 1/4 cup of warm water, about 2.5 teaspoons of dry active yeast, all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, and I use whole milk, and you mix this together in these directions. Let's do that real quick. To start with, we're going to put 2.25 teaspoon of dry active yeast in warm water, right? And this has got to sit for about 5 to 8 minutes. So just like that. From here, you want to add 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of whole milk with your yeast that's been sitting for about 5 to 8 minutes, just like that. We'll mix that together. Boom. Now we got to cover this with plastic. So now we're going to leave this covered until it's nice and bubbly. So now that our mixture is nice and bubbly, let's transfer it to this gallon-sized Ziploc bag. You ready? And this counts as day 1. It's day 2, and we have mushed the bags to get rid of all the bubbles, and it has gained some size. Even after only a few hours, like 4 or 5 hours since the mushing of the bag, we've already got it nice and bubbly, and it's getting thick again. Okay, so today is day 6. It's time to feed the yeast. We're going to add 1 cup of all of our ingredients. For this, we're going to add 1 cup of flour, just like that. 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of milk, and then we'll seal this bag down like this, and it's time to mush that together. The next 3 days will be squish, 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 squish. We're finally on day 10. Now that we're on day 10, we want to add 1/2 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of sugar, and 1/2 cup of milk. Just whisk it real good. Next, we want to pour up 1 cup of our batter. Then we pour it up into bags, and check this out. We got 5 batches out of this. 5 batches, because there's another one that's still in the bowl, and we're going to use that to make the bread. You ready? Let's go. With our 1 cup of starter, we want to add 1 cup of oil. We want to add 3 medium or large eggs, whichever you have. Medium or large works. 3 of those. 1/2 cup of milk. 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. 1 cup of sugar. 2 cups of all-purpose flour. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. That is cinnamon, you know? Mix it, mix it, mix it, mix. Next, you're gonna need 1/2 cup of sugar. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Let's go, look at that. We'll butter these 2 pans. You want to sprinkle about 1/2 of your cinnamon sugar mixture in the bottom of each pan and coat them. Next, you want to evenly pour this batter into both pans on top of your cinnamon sugar coated pans, just like this. Let's go. Lastly, you want to evenly sprinkle your cinnamon sugar mixture over the top of each pans. Put about 1/2 of it on each, just like this. Give it a nice crispy crust. Diabetes in a pan, let's go. Next, these pans go into the oven for 1 hour, just like this. Boom. So we'll see these in 1 hour's time, and that's at 325. Okay, so it's finally been an hour. We're going to take these out, and they got to sit out on the counter. Next, these are going to cool on my candy making slab until it pops away from the edge of the pan. I can take these 2 instructions here, how to make them, and take 1 of these starters, and I can go give that to my dad. Y'all have a great day. Stay hydrated. Don't forget to clean as you go. You know, peace, dudes.